I'm going to tell you a secret that is going to change your life. Because I guarantee you, if you're anything like I was, you've been overthinking. Overthinking way too much, analysing every little detail. But this thing that I'm going to tell you changed my entire football performance, changed my entire business output performance, if you want to put it that way. It changed how I started recording videos. It made the quality 10 times better. It made there be less cuts. It made me record better content in general. It made me do better, higher quality work. This one thing, which is so damn simple, and we all should know, has been lost in some whirlwinds randomly. But today I'm going to recover that for you. Overthinking is terrible, especially when you go into a state called analysis paralysis, which in other words is simply where you're sitting there thinking about so many different things that you do nothing. Could you imagine if I was recording this video and I wanted to say 10 sentences at the same time? I'll just sit here like this. I wouldn't be focused on how I'm speaking, the way my voice sounds, the way I'm presented, any thoughts at all in the end, because it'd be just, like I said, a fucking whirlwind, a tornado. This house would get selected, this house would get selected, it'd all get mixed around and lobbed elsewhere. I wouldn't have any actual thoughts right now. Analysis paralysis scrambles your mind, scrambles your thoughts, and leaves you with a completely blank page. Nothing to show for it. Back in December, when I used to record YouTube videos a lot during the month, I used to have an issue. I don't know if I can get a clip up on the screen or not, but if I can, I'll show you. I used to focus on my breathing instead of what I'm actually speaking, which meant I'd go like this in between recording and just randomly be annoying and make everybody have to hear me. And to be honest with you, I'm thinking about it today, so I don't know how good this is going to be. But there was also a phase around March, around April, where it was no longer an issue because flow state just happens. What is flow state, you might be asking? Well, flow state is where it all just happens subconsciously inside of your mind. It takes zero conscious thoughts, which means your body and your mind can perform optimally, I should say. It can perform optimally for a longer period of time, better than anyone else. So how do you flip this? How do you stop using analysis paralysis? How do you stop analysing everything and overthinking everything? So the first way I managed to find myself in the flow state was stop feeling so pressured about everything around you. You're gonna do it regardless if you have enough skill, talent, and power in whatever realm you're trying. If you're good enough at the gym, then you're gonna do well in the gym. If you're good enough at football, you're gonna do well at football. When you're gonna do bad is when you start overthinking like shite. How do I do the gym? What happens if my forms are incorrect? What happens if my reps are too low? What if, and you create doubts. And I've talked about doubt before. I'll link a video up here. Doubt isn't good for you. Doubt is this thing that takes you down. Honestly, most of the time, the power of belief is so much more empowering than not believing and staying humble, I should say. And I know this from personal experience because I used to play for a football club that played like system-based football, for those of you who know what it is. Possession, here, there. I played a weak pass, lost the ball. Then I wanted to dribble past everyone to show that I was actually good enough. I tried to overcompensate and then I started stressing and then I didn't even want the ball at some point. So what happened was I started not even enjoying football. I just used to show up for consistency and because that's discipline. But I started to hate football. I started to not enjoy it. Why? Because I didn't find the flow state I had all my life. I fucking lost it. I lost grasp of it. And it took me a whole year to re-grasp it. A whole year. I left the club because the club folded. And I went to another club and then just about I found the flow state again. That's how difficult it is to find the flow state, especially when you lose it for the first time. So what I suggest is trying to minimize how much stress you feel. Stop stressing about this, that, and the other. Start having a bit more composure. Start being a bit more stoic. Start presenting yourself with a bigger smile if you want to. If it makes you less stressed, right? And then you start doing better. I'm telling you now, there are some sport people out there whose pre-match routine would be 10 minutes with kick-ups, 10 minutes throwing a ball in the air, 10 minutes taking conversion kicks, and that's it. There's nothing else. So stop stressing about your warm-up, X, Y, Z, this, that, the other. Start trying to minimize how much stress and enter the flow state quick. The second method I used to stop this analysis paralysis was a very simple quote. Just do, don't say. Just do exactly what your first thought was before you sit there and worry for hours and hours and hours about what could have been better, what's slightly better. You can find out later on. For now, that first thought, unless you get a much better, like next thought, use the first thought. It's the reason the thumbnail looks how it is, because that's the first thought that comes to my mind. If I sit there, I'll spend 6 hours on it thinking, oh, but this could be different, this and this. And guess what? It would never get done. It would never get done. So stop overthinking in the terms of, oh, what should I do? Start just taking the first thought you have that's actually good, the first good thought, and just fucking use it. If you think of a better thought later, come up with a V2. But for now, just use the first thought. And I guarantee it will be the best version, because you'll start overthinking and you'll start tweaking really small things that don't even fucking matter. Let's be honest. And the final thing I will say is just continue practicing whatever you're doing. Because I'm telling you now, you're going to be shite at it now. In 6 months, you're going to be good at it. That's just how it works. That's just how it happens. For the first two things, cool. They're quick fixes. They can change. But when it comes to flow state, your flow state is going to get better and better and better and better and better and better the more you practice in that flow state. It's like if you practice at the gym, you'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. Your muscles get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's the same thing with flow state. If you want your flow state to become more and more and more powerful, all you have to do is try and find yourself in the flow state more and more and more, and just trust the process, keep practicing in it. And then the more subconscious it becomes, the more powerful the flow state will become. So wave bye-bye to analysis paralysis. It'll be gone. And I still need to remove analysis paralysis from my life. But these three things genuinely have mitigated so much of that BS, like I was talking about back in December, when my videos were meh. Now they're good. Look at the phone I'm recording with. Look at the quality in comparison to that video I showed you versus this one. Look at the thumbnail. Look at the title. It's all better. Not because of analysis paralysis, but because I've minimized how much analysis paralysis goes on. I'm not sitting there worrying about all the statistics like a nerd. I'm sitting there and looking at the results. The results are what matters, not the fucking statistics, not blah-de-blah. Results matter. Statistics makes it more scientific, so you can be scientific if you want. But if you want analysis paralysis, go change your thumbnail 12 times until it's perfect. And then watch your first one do better. So stop stressing about this stuff. You'll get better with it over time. And just to summarize for you all, the 3 steps are: stop stressing so much, do the first thing that comes to your mind, and stop worrying about stupid little things. Get better with time. Because I'm going to tell you now, one more time. This video versus this video is fucking night and day. And this is only the beginning, my friends. So if you have watched to this point in the video, comment the emoji of a grape below, so I know you're here and I know you've actually watched the whole video and gained the value, which I hope you have gained from watching this video. I trust you have. And do the hard work, even when you don't feel like it. Stay strong out there. I'll see you tomorrow.